Welcome to Conversations with the Soul. Now let's get straight into it. So in this video, I just want to cover off three things. First thing is a quick explanation that life is rhythmic. And this is taken from one of the laws in the Kabbalion, which I highly recommend. Secondly, I just want to give a quick story about what happened in my life a few years ago and how I was then able to use the law that life is rhythmic to really change my situation and change my scenario. And then finally, the third thing is the one thing that I've identified that will enable you to change your vibration. So let's get into it. All right, bam. Life is rhythmic. Goes up, down, left, right. And you can see it just in every day. So even the way that we breathe is very rhythmic. Even if you look at the seasons, how the seasons change is very rhythmic. Even if you look at the tides, how the tide comes in and out and in, very rhythmic. And even doing a bit of research in terms of why that happens, that's even to ensure that the nutrients in the sea is widely dispersed to the plants and animals. So the fact that life is rhythmic is really one of the universal laws that underpin life, that underpins life. And that was taken from the Kabbalion, which I highly recommend if you just want to get more of a better understanding of some of these principles. For me, yes, we can understand it, but how can we utilize it to our best advantage? And this then ties into one of my stories about my life a few years ago. So I was doing the corporate thing, working in the city of London. And then an opportunity came where I was able to travel the world. So if you look at the pendulum swinging, first it was quite constant, then it started to pick up some velocity. So I ended up traveling the world, as you can imagine, a surreal experience, being in LA, Australia, Israel. But then roughly 8 months into it, I had some type of infection in my leg, apparently due to too much flying. But I had to get surgery and I was basically bedridden for two months. So you can imagine, one moment I'm flying around the world, I never would have expected something like this to happen. And then the next minute, I'm bedridden, couldn't even move. So with that, life is rhythmic. One moment, completely in the green, positive. Next minute, bedridden, and I've never had surgery before in my life. So you can imagine this was just a confusing experience for me. But during that time where I was bedridden, it allowed me to be much more wealth conscious. Having traveled the world made me change my whole perspective of what's possible, but allowed me to build up a plan to really build wealth. So before that, it was pretty much short-term thinking. But again, as the pendulum swings, even at one of my darkest times, or one of my times when I was in pain and I've never been in that much pain, it allowed me to start planning to build wealth. And since then, I haven't even looked back. And that's for another video. But that's really how the law of rhythm can really work in your favor. Now, the one thing that I even alluded to in that video, the one thing that can allow you to change that vibration and utilize life is rhythmic to help you, is that you need to come out of your comfort zone. So you need to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I always knew this, but I didn't really understand why. But even if you look at the pendulum, you need some type of catalyst to be able to move it. Because if you're not doing anything, if you're doing everything that's pretty comfortable, that pendulum is not really going to be swinging anywhere. So it's not going to be good or it's not going to be bad. It's going to be quite constant. But if you really want to change, have different experiences in your life, really change your life, you need to add that catalyst. And that's when the pendulum will start swinging. So yes, so even if it's not working in your favor now, the pendulum will keep on swinging. If you stay consistent and focused, it will swing in your favor and you'll be in a much better position than when you even started. So we covered off three things. Firstly, we introduced that life is rhythmic, one of the laws from the Kabbalion. Secondly, I gave an example about how that principle directly played a part of my life. And thirdly, we've identified the one thing that will enable you to change your vibration and really use that principle to work in your favor. And that's all I've got for now. That's all I've got for now. So as always, we don't expect nothing less. And I'll see you on the next one in a bit.